Beloved, today I want to address a fundamental question. Can we truly know anything objectively without God? Many people, including those who identify as atheists, hold that knowledge can exist independently of a divine being. But when we examine the implications of a world without God, we find a rather troubling and absurd reality. The problem of knowledge without God. Let us first consider the nature of knowledge itself. The Apostle Paul writes in Romans chapter 1, verse 20, "For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that people are without excuse." This passage indicates that God is the ultimate source of understanding and truth. Without God, we are left with a worldview in which our minds, logic, and reasoning are merely products of random evolutionary processes. Dr. William Lane Craig, a prominent philosopher and theologian, argues that if naturalism is true, if life arose spontaneously from non-life, then our cognitive faculties cannot be trusted. If our thoughts are mere byproducts of survival mechanisms, how can we claim that they lead us to any objective truth? This leads to an unsettling conclusion. If God does not exist, then everything we think we know could very well be illusory. Moral implications. Now let's consider the moral implications of a godless worldview. If we accept that life evolved through chance, we must confront the idea that our sense of morality is also a construct, nothing more than a social consensus that has emerged from evolutionary pressures. Morality in this view becomes nothing more than a tool for survival, devoid of any inherent meaning or absolute standard. As the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche provocatively observed, God is dead. In a world without God, morality becomes subjective, dictated by societal norms and changing times. If a society decides that theft is acceptable, who can objectively challenge that claim? This relativism offers no ultimate foundation for justice or righteousness. In contrast, the Bible presents us with a different reality. In Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20, it warns, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil." The existence of an objective moral standard, grounded in the nature of God, provides us with the clarity we need to discern right from wrong. As stated in Psalm 119, verse 160, "All your words are true, all your righteous laws are eternal." Here we see that God's law is not merely a guideline, but the foundation for objective morality. The absurdity of a godless universe. Consider the implications of a godless universe. If everything is a product of random chance, then the concepts of truth, logic, and morality become absurd. They lack grounding and justification. As Dr. Cornelius Van Til posits, the Christian view of reality is the only basis for a consistent and coherent view of knowledge. In a world without God, our attempts to understand reality become futile, for they rest upon a foundation of sand. This is where we must confront the absurdity of the atheistic perspective. It cannot provide a coherent account of why anything matters or why we should even trust our reasoning processes. If the universe is indifferent, then why should we care about justice or morality? Our understanding of right and wrong becomes a mere echo of cultural evolution, a fleeting shadow that lacks true substance. The light of God's truth. In contrast, the existence of God provides us with a firm foundation for knowledge, logic, and morality. We find assurance in Proverbs chapter 2, verse 6, "For the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth come knowledge and understanding." Here we see that our ability to comprehend the universe is not a product of randomness, but a gift from a purposeful creator. God's nature is the ultimate standard of truth. Jesus himself proclaimed in John chapter 14, verse 6, "I am the way and the truth and the life." In him, we find not only moral clarity, but the very essence of reality. The moral absolutes we uphold in our society find their origin in the character of God, who is unchanging and eternal. In conclusion, we must recognize the profound implications of a godless worldview. If atheism were true, our understanding of reality, morality, and knowledge would dissolve into absurdity. However, by affirming the existence of God, we find a coherent framework that allows us to engage with the world meaningfully. Let us embrace the truth of God, which not only guides our moral compass, but also illuminates our path to genuine understanding. As we navigate the complexities of life, may we ground ourselves in the knowledge that comes from our Creator, who gives us wisdom and understanding beyond the limitations of a purely naturalistic view. Amen.